Hello, I'm back again. I have another book from when I was a kid that I really enjoyed reading. This book was given to me as a gift in 1988 by one of my family's friends, and she wrote a message on the inside telling me how it was one of her favorite books and she wanted me to have it. This book is called The Best Nest, and it's written by P.D. Eastman. Mr. Bird was happy. He was so happy he had to sing. This was Mr. Bird's song. I love my house, I love my nest, in all the world my nest is best. Then Mrs. Bird came out of the house. It is not the best nest, she said. Mrs. Bird is not happy. I'm tired of this place, said Mrs. Bird. I hate it. Let's look for a new place right now. So they left the old place to look for a new one. This place looks nice, said Mr. Bird. Let's move in here. But somebody else had already moved in. So they looked at another house. This one looks nice, said Mr. Bird, and there's nobody in it. Is that a house? That's not a birdhouse, that's a boot. You're wrong, said Mrs. Bird. This house belongs to a foot. So they went on looking. I like this one, said Mr. Bird. It has a pretty red flag on the roof. I've always wanted a house with a flag, said Mrs. Bird. Maybe this place will be all right. Can they make their house there? No, that's a mailbox. But it was not all right. I guess I made a mistake, said Mr. Bird. You make too many mistakes, said Mrs. Bird. I'm going to pick the next house. And here it is, right here. Mrs. Bird isn't very nice to Mr. Bird. They flew in, they looked around. Isn't it too big, asked Mr. Bird. I like this big place, said Mrs. Bird. This is the place to build our new nest. Uh-oh, what do you think's going to happen? They're at the top of a church. There's a big bell. They went right to work. They needed many things to build their nest. First, they got some hay. They got some soda straws and broom straws. They got some sweater string. I said setter. Silly. They got some stocking string and mattress stuffing. They got some horsehair, and they got some man hair. And they're just taking stuff from everybody. Soon they had all the hay, straw, string, stuffing, horsehair, and man hair they could carry, and they took it back to build their nest. Mr. and Mrs. Bird worked very hard. It took them the rest of the morning to finish their nest. This nest is really the best, said Mrs. Bird. I want to stay here forever. Oh no, they built it right on top of the bell. I have no idea what's about to happen. Mr. Bird was very happy too. He flew to the top of his house. He sang his song again. I love our house, I love our nest, in all the world our nest is best. He was so busy singing, he didn't even see Mr. Parker coming. Oh, I wonder what Mr. Parker's going to do. Every day at 12 o'clock, Mr. Parker came to the church. Mr. Parker came to pull a rope. The rope went up to the bird's new nest. He's ringing the bell. The rope rang the big bell right under Mrs. Bird's nest. Bong, bong, bong. Oh no. I don't think they're going to think this is the best nest anymore. Mrs. Bird got out of there as fast as she could fly. Bong, 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 bong. When Mr. Bird came in, all he could see was a mass of hay and string and stuffing and horsehair and manhair and straws. Where was Mrs. Bird? I will look for her until I find her, said Mr. Bird. He looked high, he looked low, he looked everywhere for Mrs. Bird.